Welcome back. It is DreamHack Showdown winter time, and it is time for some CS. We got two series for you today. One in the European division, one in the North American division, and we are going to start off with Europe, as we also have the brackets for that one ready. We have got XSET taking on Arcane Wave, and then the rest of Europe will continue on tomorrow. We'll have everything a little bit, every day, a little bit of EU and a little bit of NA. That's the way we like it. That's the way we like it. Isn't that right, Steph?
It is. I like this format. I can't recall last time we've had something like as connected in EU and NA, but it's really cool to see. I'm excited for that second match of the bracket here. Galaxy Racer and No Fear 5. I think this is going to be a closer game than XSET and Arcane. So I'm excited to see the Galaxy Racer team kind of try to solidify their quote-unquote first spot in some of the rankings in EU. Although I've yet to see them win versus XSET in an official final. I'm still excited to see them.
Yeah, that's kind of Galaxy Racer's final hurdle. My girl Milga, she was on the desk here at Showdown last time, so I'm definitely excited to see exactly where they're going to be sitting at as far as in the upper echelon up there with XSET. But this first series in XSET and Arcane Wave, I'm definitely excited for that one as well. We just saw XSET performing at DreamHack Open just a couple weeks ago. Actually, it's only been about a week. And Arcane Wave, they're coming in with a new fifth. Olivka's out. We've got a new player in Wiki. I'm curious exactly where she stands. I know she's coming from Izako Polar Bears from Poland, and that squad has kind of been inching up and fighting to be that number one best women's Polish team. So I'm curious to see where Arcane Wave exactly stand.
Yeah, they got a lot to fight here to at least do their best against XSET, which is the team to beat at this tournament. But also, as you say, they just want to be the best in Poland as well, which they were. And then they haven't really clicked as much as they probably would have liked to after adding a wiki. Let's take a look at what we have got going for the maps. The veto is here. We got Dust 2 Band, Mirage Band. Is there anything out of the ordinary, girls?
I think that if I'm XSET, I ban Mirage as well, because if you look at Arcane's past matches and experience, this was the weakest link for XSET. So I was curious to see if Arcane was going to play on their strength or XSET's weakest link. And it's definitely was going to be Mirage my pick for them. So not surprised with these picks, actually. I think that both teams are pretty comfortable on these maps.
Yeah, I am a bit surprised. I thought that XSET had an opening to just pick that Vertigo to punish Arcane Wave. I actually imagined that Arcane Wave would be vetoing that out. It does come through in the decider. So right off the bat, XSET, not only are they kind of this David and Goliath coming into this series, but they have that one-up advantage in the map series as well. I do like the fact that actually Arcane Wave just decided to float Vertigo. Now that I think about it a little bit more, that Dust 2, it's definitely a map that actually XSET were fighting back against the top 10 team in the world just last week, as we mentioned in that Virtus Pro. So taking out a strength of XSET right from the get-go, it could be a win condition coming through.
Yeah, and on top of that, with XSET picking Train, that is also one of the more favorable maps for Arcane Wave, and perhaps that will work into their favor as well. We'll find out later. For now, by the way, everybody in Twitch chat, your turn. It is hashtag and then either XSET or ACW. Who do you think is going to take this series? Who do you think will win? It's I think it's per map. Is it not per map? Is it per game? Per series?
Per series.
Per series. All right. Per series makes it a little bit easier that way. Who's going to take the series? Hashtag XSET, hashtag ACW. We'll come back to what you voted for later on. For us, it is time to go into the nitty-gritty, and we're going to start off with XSET. They are the defending champions here. They won last year at Summer, but it was actually this year, last time at Summer 2020 for the DreamHack Showdown, and they were the best team here. Are they still? It's the exact same roster. What are we thinking? Are they still the top dogs?
Unfortunately, I say unfortunately, I have to say they're still the top dogs because we like to have a lot of women teams at the top. But right now, no one has really challenged them for them to be scared to lose their top team reputation in EU. Right now, I see it more as a rivalry with CLG Red, and we're not going to see that happen in 2020. COVID really messed that circuit up, but I'm excited to see where they're at online, especially like you mentioned, Christine, after they're just coming out of an open event.
Yeah, exactly. And they gained so much experience, right? Shiva, you mentioned the fact that they're defending champions. Each showdown that this squad has won, they've been able to have that auto birth into the next DreamHack Opens where they're qualifying and playing up versus teams that are far better than them. So I think that's absolutely character building. And it's just, it develops the squad in their team play. And we saw those improvements last week when we saw Mimi, the girl on your screen there, Zaz. These two absolutely stepped up, and you saw the teamwork coming through. And I think XSET are just right there where they're about to just pass that last hurdle to really start swinging back and showcasing what quality these players have in each other.
Yeah, and against them, it's going to be Arcane Wave, the team with a lot to prove. The team, as far as invited teams go, the 4 invited teams in EU, this is ranked 4th. A little bit unfortunate for them, but they have a lot to prove here, especially, as we already mentioned, Wiki joining the team. They've not really, when you add a new player to the team, sure, you kind of expect you can stagnate a little bit, you got to get used to each other, but then you're expecting that upward trajectory, and that has not yet been there.
It has not, but I like to see how Poland has stayed consistent in the top teams in EU for the last, I want to say 5 years, because if I can't recall, Christine, one of the first IM event, they kept getting invited. So I do like to see that they're now proving that they're at the top, and it's just not an invited spot, but they are fighting over there doing tournaments left and right. But this is going to be a really, really tough battle here today for them. But I'm excited. I want to see some Julka here, some Angie playing, their new player, Wiki. Let's go. I want to see some Polish action here.
Yeah, and I do want to touch on the fact that, Shiva, what you mentioned, that upward trajectory, we haven't seen it. And Arcane Wave in the last showdown, in their first opening series, I was just as excited as Steph is right now to see exactly how these girls have progressed and improved. But those matches, they were so one-sided. And not only that, it was very top-heavy. Julka was really the only player that was actually swinging back. She looked like the best player in that server at times, a lot of the time. So definitely for Arcane Wave, we need to see a lot of these players stepping up. I hate to put the brand new player on the pedestal, but Wiki, she's got to be able to slot in and perform a lot, because Olivka actually had a lot of those heavy hitting responsibilities, a lot of utility usage that she had to go through. So I'm looking to see how Wiki has transitioned as that new player. But as we keep mentioning, this is such a David and Goliath type of scenario.
So normally this is where I would ask for your predictions, and I kind of think I know which way you both are going. And I would be a fool not to follow suit unless anybody wants to predict an upset here.
No, I'm going to go with XSET all the way. I think it's going to be a 2-0. If it's not, I would say maybe potentially the first map, Nuke, might be where Arcane has a shot, but I'm going with 2-0 XSET.
I like that the XSET predictions are already on the screen before we said anything, but that perfectly illustrates just how one-sided this is going to be. Arcane Wave, they've got to dig deep, and they've got to have some sort of crazy gimmicks in order to make up for that lack of firepower. I'm going with XSET here. All the way.
All right, it looks like Twitch chat is following suit in that as well. Even though we're missing a percentage, curious. Oh no, wait, my math is off. Never mind, it's 100%. I can count. Right?
It is early. It's early in the morning.
So good. And then this is what happens. All right. Well, I need a break. You need a break. You need some CS, and that is going to happen right after this.
Ooh, okay. It's all been laid out in front of us, Fearless. We've kind of got, as Potter said, David and Goliath. I know that's been overdone, but maybe that veto's going to help them out. But coming on the likes of, at bare minimum, Nuke and Train, this is brutal for Arcane Wave. They've got to prove that value real quick.
Yes, indeed. I mean, these two maps can be quite one-sided, but we have to wait and see because Nuke tends to maybe go towards Arcane Wave, but we have to wait and see if they are actually able to deliver on this big map. Of course, Nuke can be a little bit tricky. We know that the upper and the lower bomb site. But let's see, it's Arcane Wave starting at the T side and XSET on the CT side.
I do like at least seeing some utility. Angie, they're going to be popping up with the Molotov and grenade. So I'm hoping there's like a bit of placement for this. For now, it does just seem like this outer presence. Zaz, well and truly aware. Petra already called over, swatting this out from heaven. If they try and cross, they're going to be noted. Is that 2 players lower as well? This already looks like a set consideration from XSET. They seem maybe aware that Arcane Wave like to do this. Otherwise, this is a heavy investment. Let's see what Giuliano gets done already. Yeah, Peekaboo going to find the bad end of the stick, but you're still going to have Crassi down here. So this should have been traded. What on earth just happened?
Yeah, something didn't really go as planned, and now Arcane Wave have the opportunity to just burst out of that lower bomb site, and even Petra is not able to touch them. 4 players still alive, and it's up for Mimi and Zaz to do something, but most likely they will not be able to touch them at all. Mimi is here coming out of the ramp, and meanwhile a teammate coming from double, and even she is not able to do anything, leaving Zaz now all on her own.
Who is Wiki? And they have just backhanded this. Zaz can give it a good attempt. No kit though, so time's going to be ticking. You've got 2 on site to clear. Very complimentary angles, and Wiki's just come out absolutely blasting this one. Keep in mind, as the desk was saying, Potter highlighted that Wiki was a bit of an unknown quantity. That newer addition that we hadn't seen popping off, it was more Jolka kind of doing the heavier lifting before. But Wiki's just kind of made a big appearance. That was the opener, and then the follow-up as well, that little fadeaway on Petra. And these are incredibly valuable kills, but you can see how individual they were as well from the CT side. Bear in mind, it felt like XSET had the right read, and they bought into this one. You've got Deagles and armor aplenty.
Yeah, let's see if they can make this buy work. Of course, the buy on the Arcane Wave side is a little bit better. We have an AK, 2 times a Galil, and Mac 10s to follow it up. But who knows? The Deagles, we know them. They are powerful, and Giuliano is waiting and ready for someone to walk into a crosshair. But for now, Arcane Wave is just chilling a little bit, just waiting to see how XSET is going to be playing this out, deploying a little bit of utility as well. And yeah, just pretty much seeing the answer of XSET, but everyone is sitting tight. Right now, Arcane Wave needs to deliver. They're going out on ramp. And, oh, good nade there of Cressy as well to follow it up. So good damage dealt. 1 player has fallen. And technically, as far as people go, it's in the favor of XSET.
Yeah, this is sick. And honestly, for the scouts, doing the tags was more the important thing, and maybe the Deagle's going to finish it off. But Petra's going to be tested now, surely going to predict that someone's going to push. Another tag comes in, so now Madzik's fallen now, looking a little worse for wear. New angle, new kill. Petra, lovely little shot, but a quick trade out, and now just Angie left alive. These Deagles now should come into effect. Now, bear in mind, Angie hadn't been tagged too much, so there could still be some room, and that Galil is still in play. Hopefully, we can turn off that smooth cam transitioning game for the observer, because that is going to be jolting. Regardless, bomb to hand. Almost said Spike. Definitely been casting Valorant. Dear God. Bomb now down. Post plant now begins. Let's see if they can isolate a player. Keep in mind those retakes last time, or whereas on Zaz, kind of, it was very individual. I'm hoping that's not the case here. I want to see effective potential trades. And you're going to have to pick one of the angles. And on the turn, nicely done by Mimi. Excellent work, though, from the players towards ramp. Petra as well. The damage from those scouts, I felt was paramount to this round.
For sure, yes. And now the question is, how is Arcane Wave going to be dealing with this? Because there's pretty much no option but to eco this one out, unless you want to force buy against it, but that wouldn't really be my recommendation here. Yeah, this play out here on ramp, that nade, every player just did a little bit of damage each, but all together it followed up and it made sure they got away with a victory here for that round. So XSET can have a little bit of a bonus round. Petra did upgrade to that AWP. So let's see, you know, she did well with the scout. Let's see how she can do with that op as well. It's Giuliano now outside. Of course, the smoke wall is up. Arcane Wave will be on the way towards the lower bomb side. And Cressy is now waiting, ready to follow up with the sound cues so far. Everyone backed off a little bit. Once again, Arcane Wave mid-round, just chilling a little bit, see how XSET responds. But now, Giuliano got that one frame, but look at that! Wiki absolutely deleting her as she trades. And all the answers are now Mimi. Mimi gets 2. Oh, yeah, here we go, a 3rd as well. And again, it's all on the shoulders of one player, this time for Joker, against 4 of the CPs. And the force buy didn't quite work, and now it really is time for the eco.
Yeah, and honestly, as much as Giuliano only got 1 kill there, the information and fact-finding that she did was pivotal and didn't overstay her welcome. She was a little bit more aggressive towards that T-red. Kind of fell back towards lockers, maybe unsure of the buy, but expecting at least something, considering they were able to invest into those smokes. Fell away towards the lockers and then was able to spot that play back out from Secret. Really nicely done. And of course, Mimi, that upgrade of firepower that a lot of people are talking about. This is as clean an eco as you're going to get. I think 2 upgraded P2 Swifties. And Krasty on the other side, going to be chilling out for the barbecue. 3 quick kills. Nice and comfy, no armor, so the Galil's gonna make light work of them. Would have been nice to maybe have an SMG do a mop-up. You can see the cleanup crew is en route. Zaz is there and makes the money. Perfectly done, very clean. I don't mind what Arcane Wave have been putting down so far. I think the disparity is always going to be, though, do they have the pound-for-pound firepower to keep up with XSET? Because XSET are always going to be known as, you know, they've got the likes of Mimi, who is known to be one of the, I'd say, most individually powerful players, but then Giuliano's, that every single one of them is a fragger, whereas we don't know that yet for Arcane Wave.
Yes. So now this round, once again, Arcane Wave, they like to go to outside, and this time it is Wiki that has fallen, one of the most powerful and impactful players right now. So they've lost that one. So Arcane Wave need to rethink a little bit their strategy. We do still have 2 players outside. The other ones are in lobby. They could potentially set them up for a nice little A split, but look at this position. Mimi already so close. Little cheeky angle waiting, of course, to pop around the corner. Flashes will be heard, and that is her time to shine now. Mimi gets one for herself. Petra with a follow-up. Ooh, sadly, Mimi not quite expecting a second player to come out, but it is looking pretty alright as Giuliano is swifting everyone right up, only taking 2 casualties. And it's 4-1 now for XSET.
Yeah, and this is getting into that worrying territory now for Arcane Wave, where your money's going to be kept humble enough that investing into all the goodies that you might need is going to get a little tricky. Now, bear in mind, for the CT side, they get everything. Their money's going to be building now. Petra's on 7k, Krasty 5. Keep in mind those Molotovs, even Giuliano, 7. Molotovs will be in the pocket constantly, so no fast-paced pieces should be able to be gotten away with. Now, Giuliano's getting a little aggy out here. This could be interesting. Up against pistols is dangerous, and Wiki's already proven value, but Zaz waits patiently. Didn't expect another. Look at Zaz, always makes it look so good. I don't care it's against pistols. Zaz is still a god of this game, and I will never not enjoy watching her play. I mean, look, if Potter retires, I have to find a new champion, and Zaz is being that for me.
Oh my lord, 4 kills there for her. So let's see if she can keep it up, because so far the potential's there, 5-1. And of course, this is now the time for Arcane Wave to really get back to the drawing board and say, hey, what is the strat we need to pull out of the bag? Because so far, not going great. Of course, we do know Nuke is a CT-sided map, but starting off with 5-1 scoreline is not very ideal. You want to get more on the board. So let's see if this will be the round they can actually do that.
Yeah, I think breaking the bank is going to be tough at this point. As you said, 5-1 scoreline's a little brutal. I just want to see a little bit more kind of efficiency on the T side and see how well prepped they are for this. I want to see a set piece. They have all the goodies. They've got all that utility. Let's put it into practice. And it looks like the molly towards Hut isn't quite there. Wiki with the fast play, though, could do well here.
Ooh, Wiki once again entering. Sadly, she does get traded, but it looks kind of like a trade fest on both sides now that Pollen and Angie have taken 2 for themselves. The bomb now did get planted, but it looks like it might still be about to get heated. Pressy behind the smoke, and Giuliano up in heaven. Matt 6 is watching the angle, of course, a Molotov flying her way, but she can still very carefully sit behind it. Oh, look at that. Cressy now taking 1. Even the wall bang on top of it, tagging Angie down to 37 HP. But she herself is low as well. It's who will shoot first. And oh my god, it's a game of hide and seek right now. Angie will find the kill and will finally get yet another round on the board here for Arcane Wave.
Ooh, Angie taking that initial left eye peek was a little bold, but obviously closing out on the right. But regardless, it's the first step back. And I'm amazed at the pace that Arcane Wave were able to pull off, considering the utility that the CT side have. They've got all the goodies in the pocket. They've still got the open play. I'm amazed they got away with such a kind of, I don't want to say a contact piece, it wasn't. It was just so kind of explosive, even with some failed utility in there. Okay, let's see what's going to happen now. Angie with a quick peek through on Squeaky, a little bit of a spam coming out. No one really going to play much mind to it, but it's going to force the utility out of the CTs now for sure. They can't not invest it early round after the pace of what just happened. And keep in mind, Wiki also made it so far without being spotted. Maybe why we're seeing the adjustment from Giuliano sitting at the back of Mac Hut or Garage. So it could be a little bit of an answer here. Let's see what Arcane Wave do with this. Now they've pulled a bit of the pace back in their favor.
Once again, quite heavy on that outside positioning for Arcane Wave. And unlike what Petra's doing, no sitting with the up in heaven waiting to see anyone, but so far not really anyone being spotted. The smokes haven't really been deployed just yet. But here we go. Petra jumped down. Ooh, but it's Angie taking the fight and actually winning it now. Luckily, she does have backup. Giuliano gets one trade, but also she gets traded herself, leaving with the advantage here for Arcane Wave. A 4-2 now, as Zaz is trying to pull things back together for her team.
Yeah, they can double up on this. Mimi and Zaz pack a powerful punch, and considering the bomb was left back here, now they have it. It's time to lock it down, secure the area around it. Don't let her play back in. You can see Mads trying to pick up the pace to regain some territory towards lobby, but Mimi on the swing's going to isolate one, spots the second, and gets the second. Mimi, solid as ever, but getting that bomb down in lobby was the MVP that round. The other thing that stood out to me, I've got to say it though, was Petra's re-peek at lockers. She lost the angle, and she peeks right back in. That was... I guess it's that double-edged sword, right? You want to play to your skill level. You want to play confident. Keep in mind, you know, these players for XSET, you know, under where it be Secret, whether it be, you know, any of the previous names, Besiktas, they've always been nuts. This could be a vent dive, maybe? Or maybe a top brush. Let's see what they go for here.
Ooh, they're all gonna be bursting out of the A side, just pistols in hand. Looks like Angie did find an AK for herself, but so far the cleanup is real. All the kills pretty much go towards XSET, leaving Angie with that AK last alive. She gets one, but that is unfortunately all she will get. A pretty fairly easy round for XSET. 2 people lost, but still the money is nowhere near broken.
Nah, Mimi's nuts. Just like no worries. Like Wiki, I've got to say as well though, Wiki's been proving pretty potent. I don't know how much more we can see from her. Hopefully we get to see more throughout the series. You know, once we get to train and if we get to, Vertigo, she seems like she packs a bit of a punch herself, cracking open some incredible opportunities like entry fragging around the map. Now I wonder what the response will be from the CTs. Petra might be put on notice here. Keep in mind the presence that the Shadow's going to show. Petra so quick on the trigger, not going to let it slip, and now they've lost that outer presence they've been fighting for so often.
Oh man, Petra, indeed, she is on fire right now. Pretty much the whole team of XSET right now seem pretty cohesive. And Zaz surely is looking for yet another kill. So far, it's, you know, usually mid-round things tend to slow down. And I kind of like that. Arcane Wave not too eager to just randomly burst out. They do like to deploy their utility well. Once again, outside smokes towards potentially B. But this time they're trying to play around it. They're going to sit on the different side. And
Giuliano
this is interesting.
This.
Yeah, Giuliano is expecting this. She sees that no one is actually behind it, giving the info to Petra. But now it is all known. They are going towards that A bomb site. Zaz is ready for it. Mimi picks up 2. And this is once again a very clean round. Perfectly read. And XSET, they pretty much are keeping it going.
Yeah, XSET are doing wonderfully. I think Giuliano's positioning then was fantastic. Sitting in secret at that point, because obviously you put up that wall of smoke towards the outer area to try and keep the consideration of you could get through secret to lower. But with her positioning, not going to happen. She knew no one was walking secret. She played through the smoke, pretty bold. Surprised Arcane Wave weren't maybe watching that a little bit, but she gets away with the perfect timing, calls it out, everyone's ready. And honestly, Arcane Wave don't look too bad at this. They've got, you can clearly see the intentions, you can see the set pieces, they've got theory to it. But the problem is, again, pound for pound, they're being read here. It's not subtle, it's nothing new. And again, I come back to what the desk was saying, is that they had to pull off something a little gimmicky. Now, that sounds bad, but it's not meant to be. Because pound for pound, Arcane Wave do not match up to XSET just yet, at least to my mind. And maybe I could be proven wrong, but for now, I think it holds true. So you have to pull out something a little different, a little bit maybe even just targeted, something a little quirky, and maybe a fast-paced piece could do that. Already preempted Molotovs and trying to maybe hinder it. There's one back in for the CT side. That is going to allow a gap on the cross. Giuliano can see this once again. That's going to be Wiki dead, and Wiki's been the one to start this, and look how easy they make this look.
Pretty much flawless right here. Everything red. They know exactly which smoke goes where, which Molotov, what the play was going to be like. So just one simple smoke to counter that whole play, and then eventually, keeping Arcane Wave in the dark. All the mystery is there. And they pretty much have no answer. Almost all the smokes are gone. The only thing they have left is a bunch of flashbangs and Molotovs. So the whole plan all right into dust. And now they have to do it with bare aim. But the question is, how much can they do? They have $200 and $600 in the bank. At this point, I would probably say try to deal a little bit of damage, but also try to hold on to those 2 AKs. But it looks like, with 40 seconds left on the clock, they're going to be walking sneakily out of A. But of course, there's 5 players still left alive. Of course, there's one person going to be at A at least.
Mimi's on 18 kills in 12 rounds. So I think we found the final raid boss of Nuke. It is Mimi. Giuliano, of course, is the kind of, boss before you get there, but then Mimi is always the one waiting. You got a pre-pot. I've been playing a lot of World of Warcraft, all right? You can't blame me. My brain is in just full WoW mode. But coming back into this, we do have Deagles. Nothing too much to write home about. Not a smoke, not a flash, unless that was already invested, which I don't think it was. Above the smoke, love that from Giuliano, just kind of playing the smoke very well. This is just kind of beating them down. And the one thing I want to highlight as well for XSET is they're playing quite reserved. Initially, it looked a little shaky, and I got worried we were going to have that overly aggressive XSET that we sometimes do, and there is something to be said of playing to your own skill level rather than your opponent's. But it has been their downfall on occasion. Their brazenness, their want to kind of prove the point and be over aggressive to an extent. But look how reserved they're being. There is no feeding. There is just holding the angles, playing patient. And I'm sure this is frustrating as hell, but that's why you do it. Zaz gets a little curious and loses her head for it. And now another opportunity was going to present, but Petra keeps it controlled. So again, unable to cost them 3 guns in that one, only taking down 2 players, should keep the reinvestments perfectly fine. They're almost at max cap money for some of the CT side players. So 10-2, I've got to say it, Villas, this is looking kind of like we were expecting. I mean, if Arcane Wave is going to close out the next couple of rounds, okay, game on, but it doesn't feel like they've got it in the tank.
No, I mean, already last Showdown, Nuke, it was okay, they did win, but it was only in OT, and it still seemed kind of hard for Arcane Wave. Though, of course, we do know that they changed 1 player over. But, that was a little bit of a time ago, and things still need to be adapted. Things don't necessarily always seem that smooth yet for Arcane Wave. They might need a little bit more practice and a little bit more time, which is, of course, fine. But now you're going up against XSET, and this is the time to show. And so far, it's lacking a little bit, and XSET is just pretty much running them over. Almost all the rounds are super clean. One person just basing the other one, and it's instantly traded out. Now, it's Cressy this time over in the locker room. Not Petra, and Giuliano up top. She almost gets shot down, but the other way around. There we go. Giuliano once again deleting the tease. And no one on the exit side has fallen just yet. Just a tiny bit of damage.
Yeah, CT side, look at the patience from Petra, knowing that the response could be to try and play towards ramp. Maybe that was meant to be like a secret crunch. Sees ones, waits for the second, sees the bomb. Didn't get the kill on that. That looked so spot on. But a molly and a back away, kind of opening up for Cressy, then to hold towards the push in case someone came through. But no, Petra on the rear just now finds a new angle. Petra's just putting on an absolute clinic right now. Pushed on the left side, gotta be cautious. Toying with her food. It does buy time, but it does now open up for a plant. Jolka is going to have to deliver a lot here. And Zaz has already taken down Pollen. This is not looking good. And it's confirmed to be not so good. Again, I've got to say, XSET are playing a great game of Counter-Strike here.
Yeah, as you said, I like the more reserved type of XSET here. They know they got pretty much this one, at least this map in the bag, if not the second one as well. So there's no need for you to go and overextend, to go over aggressive. Just win it cleanly, and that's exactly what they're doing here. They're showing what they can do, but nothing really more than they need to. They don't necessarily have to be a show off, and it's all going right for XSET here.
And I like what you say about the fact they're not showing too much. We haven't seen anything crazy for like CT side aggression. We saw maybe Mimi pushing in towards Hut, but that was just a good read of the game. Zaz exploiting the gap in the smoke there, finds Wiki pretty quickly. Krasny now knows what's coming their way. Was that a one-way smoke or is that just where it lands? I'm not too sure. Krasny though, making it look so simple. This is against a buy round and the support's here. Jolka does find Petra, so there's still a bit of life in this round. But look at the hunting pair down below. You have the classics, Giuliano and Zaz together, and then roaming on her own is Mimi, this new kind of pack-a-punch player who's already proven her value. Where is Mimi playing right now? Is she just kind of chilling in, like, heaven side, I'd imagine? Yeah, so holding this and allowing the other two to clear back through ramp, they're eliminating areas on the map where Julka can actually be. This is incredibly smart. This is very diligent, and the timing could work out well. Mimi just has to stay alive here.
Oh, this timing is awful. Zaz is pushing into lobby as soon as Julka looks away. And there's simply nothing she can do. And that does leave us now with the last round here of the first half. And pretty much, once again, there is, of course, a loss bonus on the Arcane Wave side. But is it going to be great? No. We have a few Galils, not the best UT on Mech 10 as well. So it's definitely looking rougher here for Arcane Wave. And the question is, can they pull one more round in here?
It's a big question. For now, even if they do, 3 rounds going into the CT side is going to be an uphill struggle at the very least. And Giuliano's getting aggy. Why not? Get a little aggressive at the end of the game. Look at that ramp presence they've got. They're just going to corner this T side in. There's not much more to be said. Yeah, shot in the back. Mimi's already there, joined by Giuliano, and they now know they're in trouble. They've lost so much presence on the map, but Wiki has found an answer back, and that's down secret. But Mimi's now cut off rotation and support. So if they do that late play, Zaz is in their spawn. That's the bomb. That's a shadow, and this should be the round.
The reads are just perfect here by XSET. Of course, they had a little bit of control early on, but as soon as they pretty much knew that A was clear, lobby was clear, it was like, okay, let's just push around. We can just do this slowly. We can sneak up because Arcane Wave not really going very fast, and they know that. Oh, but take a look at this. Maybe Wiki is able to pull something off. Probably not. 4 people will be hunting her down. Just waiting. It's like, you know, Wiki, you have to probably plant the bomb, but oh, nope. Sadly, it won't be it. It is a Mimi taking the last shot there.
Mimi just got 22 kills and a half. I think for Arcane's Wave's sake, we need to take a break here. We'll be back in a moment's time to see how this one concludes. Is there going to be the dream comeback, or is it all but over? XSET looking to prove a point in their first game.
Creyendo que eres el solo que amé. Por eso te quiero mirando de noche y de días. La calor de tu cuerpo me llena de alegría. Yo no quiero olvidarte. Yo no quiero olvidarte, olvidarte. Yo no quiero olvidarte. Yo no quiero olvidarte, olvidarte.
tu calor, tu boquita, mi amor, dame tu sabor y tus labios de color. Quiero tu calor, tu boquita, mi amor, dame tu sabor y tus labios de color.
Porque esta noche quiero bailar.
Tu boquita, mi amor, dame tu sabor y tus labios de color.
You used to see me running, don't know what I was hiding from, and I was breathing heavy.
Welcome back to DreamHack Showdown Winter. It's 13-2. XSET have come out and they've already made a statement. That scoreline says enough, let alone Mimi on 22 kills. But Villas, I'm seeing smokes, I'm seeing flashes, nades. It looks like the T-side have something in mind.
Yes, actually the nades are now already deployed and now a smoke on top of it as well. And it looks like the flash definitely did some work too. Zaz got a kill as Pressy was flashing there. And it's already one player less. Make it two as Petra is now getting the kill onto Angie. They've cleared out lobby. And they pretty much know where the last two people are. Low, actually, keep that in mind because Joke isn't having, but luckily it was Zaz watching that angle. And all 5 of the XSET players are now still alive. That is money right in the bank.
It's not just money, it's the scoreline. We're now 2 away. I mean, this is the thing. If there was ever a chance for Arcane Wave, right, they had to have picked up that pistol, and I think they know it. Buying back in with everything they've got here, it's do or die time for Arcane Wave, at least on map 1.
Ooh, and this is going to be a vent drop, but it will at least be quite a rough one for Juliana, taking a little bit of damage along the way. But so far, it's good. It's only 1 player fallen. And once again, it's so super clean. They have an answer for absolutely everything. And now that leaves us with XSET on map point here on Nuke. 15-2 was the scoreline. And, well, if I'm Arcane Wave, I would just say, okay, let's focus on the next map because this will probably not be it.
We just appreciate how aesthetic Giuliano's room looked then. Damn, she's got her life together. She can frag and have a decent looking bedroom. Okay, well, here I am living in squalor. But speaking of squalor, the CT side's economy is pretty hot garbage right now. Deagle's now being shot in back. Mimi's there. This is going to be a run through. They're just going to try and bring those guns into the right place. It's risky, but it's paying off well. Just 2 left alive, Veerless. Make it 1.
Oh my lord, Pollen with that MP9. She goes into lobby. She does hit a bomb plant, but of course it's against 4 of the T's. This won't be an easy task. She just have 1 single flashbang, and it's Giuliano already waiting and ready for her, picking up the first map here. It's a 16-2, and what a rough one that was.
Welcome to the big leagues. You don't get to walk in against the likes of XSET and walk out with your life most of the time. But the map was pretty one-sided, Veerless. I mean, that was quite brutal. I think there was always a chance we imagined that could happen with XSET if they come out and they look good today. And it looks like they are very much on point.
Yeah, exactly. You know, it's like this map was a little bit of the tasting point for XSET. Like, how is Arcane Wave going to be doing here? Are they going to be able to pull off some resistance, or will it just be pretty much a slaughter here? And already from that force buy, you saw the confidence there in XSET. They were ready and waiting, and boom, they delivered.
I think the one thing that worries me as well, Train will be on the horizon as the next one, and I know that XSET are solid on this too. So we said it was going to be an uphill struggle. David Goliath scenario is going to be brutal, but it's a learning curve of all kinds. I mean, Wiki looked quite good. We had a couple of nice rounds from Wiki coming out, but yeah, pound for pound, definitely noticing the disparity. Vilas, any main takeaways? I guess Mimi's performance was pretty decent. But you know what? I'll get your opinion soon, because you know what? The producer's saying, hey, Lauren, you can't have fun. Fun's not allowed at DreamHack Show. I'm kidding. We're just going to go to a break. When we're back, rather than hearing us talk about it, let's hear some experts on the scene after this break.
Welcome back to the DreamHack Showdown Winter. We're in the middle of our first series between XSET and Arcane Wave, and the first map looked a little bit one-sided in favor of XSET. I'm here with Miss Harvey and Potter. Miss Harvey, this game, we kind of thought it was going to be a little bit one-sided, but it was a lot one-sided.
There was a little bit of glimpse of hope, I would say, in the first 6 round. At some point, it was 5-2, guys. And I was starting to believe there was a lot of good things out of Arcane. They were taking outside control and trading pretty well. But at some point, when they started losing, they stopped doing that. But we have to mention our Wiki's stat here. She was the player to watch from Christine because she was the new one and she had to step up. And she, in her opening duels, went out with 4 out of 7 with the highest ADR on her team. If we look at the scoreline and look at her stats, you know, you would think that this game was a little closer. So good performance out of Wiki, but it's not enough for Arcane Wave to get more than 2 rounds in. You know, the ending of that game was rough.
Yeah, no, definitely. It definitely so. And I actually want to bring up on the stats, Helix, to kind of illustrate exactly what Steph is talking about. Because as she mentions, the beginning, it was close neck and neck. Arcane Wave were doing a fantastic job applying that outside pressure. So if we take a look here, they're going to throw the 2 smokes. It looks like it's a bit frozen. Okay, here we are. The 2 smokes do come out towards that connector and big garage side. And this is what Steph was talking about, that outside pressure. Arcane Wave, they're able to gain this space and ground. And actually, Lauren mentioned it. XSET had to make an adjustment, Giuliano, towards this big garage in order to hold this outside yard, because Arcane Wave were having the better fights and duels. Wiki taking the point of charge. She's able to garner an opening for Angie. And this is where things get pretty dicey for XSET. All this full outside yard control and this lobby control. You can see the members of XSET are about to get pinched and crunched, but that's when the individuals start to shine from XSET. Mimi making the perfect adjustment mid-game. She starts pushing towards the door area, and take a look at Zaz's position as well. The buddy system coming through strong. So the experience for XSET, if we can go to the point of view and showcase Mimi's frags, you'll just see that the experience in the end, it shined through for XSET. So no matter how close some of these earlier rounds were for Arcane Wave, XSET, they just had that small little edge to push them through. And then in the end, when Arcane Wave started losing that confidence in their own game plan, it just became super lopsided. XSET just started gaining a lot more confidence, starting to get multi-kill after multi-kill. I mean, look at Mimi's stats. She was an absolute beast towards that hut area. Just the frags that she's able to provide made things so difficult for Arcane Wave.
It really, really did. They have another shot here on map 2. We'll be heading into train after the break.